Howdy, howdy, everybody, and welcome back to Stranded Deep in Conversation. Now, where I just talk about some shit. I walk around an island for at least 30 minutes, and have a great time doing it. At least I do. But the rest of you, there's a vacuum going off as per usual. Just ignore it. I mean, what's the vacuum doing to you? Who hurt you? The vacuum or the spaceman who's inside the vacuum making the suction happen? I'm tired. Alright, so let's just it's dark. I still got sleep before I left the last time. Ooh. Oh, great. I didn't. Ooh, stupid me. So I guess we can get started. With this week at retail, baby. Did I write anything down? I know some things happened. I don't remember if I wrote anything down. Click. The only thing I wrote down was that I tried Rita's, which is like a ice cream place around here, and I don't like ice cream. I don't like ice cream at all. I think it's way too cold. I think the flavors are kind of shitty. I was not a big fan of, especially just how cold it is. So I tried ice cream. I got like this unicorn sunrise or unicorn surprise or unicorn magic. I don't fucking remember the name at all. But it was good. It was pretty good. It was like a custard. It was vanilla custard with like these fucking really, really crunchy purple and pink sprinkles on them. And it was pretty good. I thought I was gypped because it said that I was getting custard, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, custard. I've eaten custard before, and it was so cold. So I thought they just gave me ice cream, which I figured maybe custard is just like fancy words for ice cream. I don't really know, but regardless, I did eat it, and eventually it warmed up, and I actually had a much better time with it. Thank you for slamming the door wide open, Tubby. You really know how to make a man feel good. You sure do, buddy. Eat a dick. I hate you. I am at all. It's a cool guy. He's a cool dude. Lives in Spain sometimes. He's cool like that. He goes out and then he come back. He doesn't actually go anywhere. He's an inside cat because I don't think he'd survive a day outside. He's a big whiny man. He'd go out there into the world, try to sneak up on a bird and be like, eh, and then the bird would run away. He's just a big, loud guy. Where's the fish? But yeah, so that's I can't eat that one. But yeah, so I had Rita's. It was good. The custard was confusing, but it was again, like, once it warmed up, it was pretty good. Not like warmed up. Like, I didn't wait for it to be like a fucking soup. I just, ate it over time, and as it got more melty, I was like, oh, dude, this feels more edible now. And the fucking waffle bowl thing on the bottom, oh yeah. I get behind that any day of the week. That thing was delicious. I thought, as a kid, I tried a waffle cone before, and I hated it. But I was like, dude, I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to have a waffle thing. And that was so good. It was like a perfect, like not tang, but like a kick to it. There's like a little kick to it. It was like a burnt flavor, a little. But then it was also just really nice and crisp. It was delicious. Probably the best thing about that experience was, since there was still some like melted like a custard shit. I don't know. I'm assuming it's just custard. I don't think it's actually technically ice cream, but there was still some on it, so it just really added some deliciousness to everything that was happening that day. It was awesome. It was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Another thing that happened was I worked at a different. What's happening? I'm like humping the ground. Stop that. This is awkward. But I was working at a different place today. Not today. The other day. I'm not working today. I got a day off. I got the whole time to exist around there. So of course I stayed up until like fucking 4 in the morning, doing buck all with my day. But yeah, I was working at a different place, and there I just was kind of helping them out, and it was me and my store's manager and another one of my coworkers. And, we did pretty good. We were, like, cleaning out their back room just because they're always so behind because the manager's so awful over there. But I can't, like, that looks like a cat. No, it doesn't. But I feel like they're trying more than they did before. So I'm giving them benefit of the doubt, this manager. So I'm going to assume that they're okay. But they used to be pretty bad. They looked like they were trying to help a bit more. I understand before, so it's good. It's good. It's grand. But yeah, it was just an easy time, and then it was in the morning, so I completely forgot. I'm sorry for not having the last couple days with the video or a stream or anything. I worked in the morning on Tuesday, and then I got so just drained. There's a lot of just heavy lifting and stuff that I just said, fuck it, I'm tired. And I just watched fucking House with my sister, ordered Little Caesars, which is the first time I had Little Caesars. It wasn't in work, but I'll tell you about it. I got this like pretzel crust because it was like a deal going, like a pretzel crust, like pepperoni, and they gave the option of either a cheese one or a marinara one, but for whatever reason, there's no way to edit the fucking pizzas. I don't understand why. Like, there's only one size, which is fine. I wanted a big pizza because I wanted to eat some later, too, if I liked it. But, the fucking, the pizza, right? It was okay, I guess. Because I wanted the regular sauce, like pizza sauce. I love me some, like, marinara sauce. I love the good stuff. But it comes and it's got the cheese sauce on it, and I'm like, ah, shit. So I either got the wrong pizza or I clicked the wrong option because they make them incredibly the same. It's just one word difference, and it's I guess like add to cart. There's no way to like observe the differences or like check the toppings or anything like that. It's literally just like, hey, here's this and here's this. They're almost identical options on the website. Just fucking deal with it. And I didn't want to, but I did. So whatever. It was fine. It was still good. My sister didn't like it because the cheese sauce was way too salty, and I completely agree. That pizza was salty as fuck, but I like salt, so I didn't really care. And I also got these like M&M brownie things. Shit, where do those go? I had one. It was pretty good. My sister had one. She liked it, and then I had two more. I was gonna get one to my mom. I was probably gonna eat the other one, but I don't know where the hell they went. I probably ate them. That's cool. I just completely forgot that I even had those. What a world. But yeah. Anything else fun happened? I didn't write anything else down, so I'm trying to like go back through the days. I was off Friday. I saw the Mario movie on Friday. That was a good movie. That was a fun loving movie. I love fun movies. Those are always my favorite. And, yeah, sue me. They're good movies. They're great movies, even. Some of the, if not best movies, are fun movies. Adam Sandler's got it going. But he wasn't in this movie. It was, like, Chris Pratt and Key, from Key and Peele. Or was it Peele? No. It was Key. Keegan-Michael Key. Yeah, so that was my week. It wasn't necessarily this week in retail, but that was pretty much my week. I did that stuff. If you don't remember what it was, just hit the backspace button, not the backspace button, the left button or the J button a bunch until it rewinds, and then just hit the space bar or K, and then you'll be back. Or you can scroll it, whatever works for you. Man, speaking of movies. Let's stay on that topic because that's what the topic is for today. As you can tell from the episode title, horror is meh. or horror is okay. I don't know. We'll think about it on when I'm uploading it. But yeah, the horror as a genre, not that big of a fan of. And whilst we were leaving the Mario movie, my sister was looking at some of the other movies on the wall, and I was too. The new Indiana Jones movie is coming out at the end of June. I'm excited for that. I'm gonna take my mom to see that because we love Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is freaking baller. But there's another movie. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a horror movie, and my sister was like, "Ooh, that looks cool. We should go see that when it comes out." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure, we can think about it. Yeah, that sounds cool." He says, "It's like, I mean, we can't. Oh God, I'm gonna die. Oh, because my food's burning. Oh no, I forgot. Oh jeez. Um, but oh God, is it okay? Oh, it's okay. Oh great. Oh great, it's okay. Oh, it's grand. Okay, but okay, you gotta say that for later. What was I saying? Oh yeah, because I just don't have that much of care in my bones for horror movies, or just horror as a genre. I'm not that big of a fan of it as a whole. As you know, like in the grand scheme of things, not a big fan. Why? I don't know. I feel like lately, with a lot of horror stuff, it's become sort of just like, let's make something so fucking disgusting to look at, so gory, and just violent and fucking awful, that anyone who watches it is just gonna want to cry. Which is like, I guess that's one way of going about horror. Like, I never would have, because that's a dumb idea. Like, to be fair, one of the only horror movies I actually like watching are the Saw movies. So I know I pretty much just countered everything I just said about hating the gore movies, because as Saw went on, it essentially just became gore porn for everybody watching. But I was invested in the characters, and I like that. And I feel like that's the sort of movies that I like, the like horror stuff. Except that's in like a series. Because one-off horror stuff is just really just bland and boring to me. There's some that I did like Arachnophobia, I think was it called, like with a bunch of spiders in a barn, and then there's like thousands of them that eat people, and like House of Wax was okay. Like, it's not that it's not that I hate horror. Like, I don't hate horror at all. It's just very meh. Like, if I had to choose between a movie, like two different movies, one was horror, one was anything else, I'd probably choose the anything else, because I'll watch just about anything. Like, if you told me, hey, would you want to watch Child's Play 2, or do you want to watch Paw Patrol Saves the Day? I would be putting on my police hat and my little Paw Patrol water vest and just start swimming. But the thing is, that like Child's Play 2 is a movie that I used to actually really like as a kid. I only ever watched it once, and that thing stuck in my brain, and still it kind of is. The only scene that I remember is the one where they're in, and this could be completely fabricated because I haven't seen the movie in like a decade, but it could be like they were in like a toy factory, and then one of the ladies gets stuck in one of the machines, and Chucky like turns it on, so like she gets her mouth sewed up, and she turns into like a doll or something. Like, I feel like I remember that, and I remember just being like, oh God, that's so scary. But scary has lost a lot. Like, I haven't really been scared by a horror movie in a long time, because I feel like it's just rarely expected. When jump scares and like horror, just horror as a whole, is expected, it's not nearly as fun or exciting or even just as scary. Like, obviously, like, the gore shit is fucking just gross. It's not scary to me. It's just like, oh God, why do that? Like, why even do that? It's just such an awful idea. And as I started watching the Saw movies, I actually started I rewatched them lately with my family, and I've been like looking away from some of it because I'm just like, Jesus Christ, that's too much. I just the traps are cool, I get it, but please just finish and get back to the plot, which is a weird thing to say. I feel like people who watch Saw are like people who watch porn and are clearly in it for the action, but whenever they're asked about it, they're like, "Oh, I'm watching for the plot." Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting, you know. I mean, it's really cool, you know. They're really fine woven story, but especially for the first three movies, it was a really good story. It was a really good story. It obviously lost a lot of its meaning and, you know, actually just ability to be understood as it went on. But I liked it. I thought it was really cool. Even a new one, the Spiral, I think it was called. That was pretty good. I really enjoyed that one too. And like the new Saw, like Jigsaw, like I say new, it probably came out like 6 years ago at this point. I watched it with my friends in a movie theater, and I didn't fucking like. It was like, oh yeah, like that guy probably is it, and he was the guy who got knocked out. I was like, yeah, that guy's probably gonna come back. I mean, they didn't really see him die, and there he was. He was the big bad guy, and I was like, okay, well, that's cool. But yeah, like the only other horror movie I've watched in theaters, I think, was It Chapter 1 when that first came out. And that was okay. Again, I wasn't really all that scared by anything. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, they're just scaring these kids. This is clown guys scaring these kids. I know in Stephen King they all have a sex party at some point when they defeat the monster. So I was really hoping they didn't show that because that would have been pretty awkward. Awkward because they were all children in a movie. Which, by the way, how can is that not like is it illegal to write child pornography? Like this, I'm not trying to find a loophole or anything. I'm just trying to understand because like that whole scene, like I like with it in the book, like they like talk about them like having sex and stuff, and I don't remember how like vulgar it is, but just like the like I guess just mentioning that it happened isn't illegal, but like writing it and publishing it and like selling it to people might spark some weird kinks. I don't know. It just seems like a slippery slope. But I mean, what do I know? You know, I don't fucking. I don't. I mean, I watched the movie. I read the book. I don't want to have sex with children. So this is a weird fucking time. But yeah. So I watched it. I actually went to take a pee break in the middle, like towards the end of the movie, because I wasn't really interested. I really needed to pee, and of course I left during the most fucking fun time of when I think it was they said it was the girl who was like alone, and then the clown shows up like, "Ugh," and then he does like a fucking dance at her, and it's like, holy and I'm like, fuck, they're all like, I come back from peeing and they're still like chuckling about it, like you missed the best fucking part of the movie. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. I have such horrible fucking timing, but like, it's not horrible. It's actually amazing timing, but it's like it either plays against me or for me, and it's most likely against me. But regardless, I mean, I was pretty upset. So I didn't even really give a shit at the time. But like a few years down, they were like reminiscing about the movie, and I eventually actually watched that scene. Like, oh, that's pretty funny. I wish I saw that in the theater. That would have been a funny experience. And I haven't thought about it since. And that was a while ago too. That was before Jigsaw, wasn't it? I'm not gonna look it up because I don't really care, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure It Chapter 1 came out before Jigsaw. I didn't see It Chapter 2. I'm pretty sure the sequel for that came out when they become big boys and hurt people and stuff. I didn't see it, so I have no idea. But yeah, so horror movies. Not the biggest fan. Like, I'll watch them, obviously, and some of them do hold nostalgia for me, like, again, Child's Play 2, the Saw movies are really just something. I'm really into the Saw lore, and when they put Saw, like, the characters in Dead by Daylight, like, when I saw they did that, I got the pack almost immediately, because I was like, oh, dude, it's freaking Detective Tapp, that's so cool. Like, he saved with me. If you haven't seen Saw, he was in the first movie, and he was, like, he was essentially like the main cop who was trying to solve the Jigsaw case, and his buddy cop got shot during a running trying to like arrest Jigsaw, and they died, and he just kept like trying to figure out who it was, which eventually led to him getting shot as well. I think, or stabbed. I think it was stabbed. Yeah, I think he got stabbed, and then he died. He had his throat slit, but then he survived that, and then he died anyway. So, sucks to be him. Yeah, but they put him in there, and they also put Amanda in there. So I guess they took two characters that were dead and put them, and Amanda was like Jigsaw's protege, who like got fucking annihilated, got shot by I forget his name, the guy in Saw 3 that was going through all the puzzles and stuff. I want to say Pete, but I also want to say Pete Best, who was from the Beatles at some point. I think he's the old drummer. So I don't know why that name's coming to my head. But yeah, like he was trying to go to his wife, and then she killed his wife anyway, or some shit, and then he shot her, his shadoy, and then Jigsaw was like, I just want you to die, but you did it yourself, game over. And because he's so fucking cool. I love Saw 2. I think Saw 2 is probably one of my favorites just because of the amount of like attention that freaking Jigsaw, like the character, gets. Cause I remember his name. I feel really bad I don't remember his name, but the actor who plays Jigsaw, I fucking love that guy. I think his name's Toby. Toby B? Come on, Bixby. Who plays Jigsaw?
Tobin Bell.
Tobin Bell. Yeah, see, I almost got it. I essentially knew him like a childhood friend. And I was like, hey, Toby B! That's a going, Toby B! You know, and I guess like, it's like that's how I remembered him. So yeah, that's actually, I think that's about all I really have. Yeah, again, so just to recap, never really got scared or immersed by horror movies, you know, they weren't always, like, it was always sort of just like, okay, I'm expecting a scare, and then I'm gonna get scared, I guess. Which is like, okay. It's a shush whatever. I mean, it's good. Like, again, I don't hate watching horror movies at all. I just think I get more immersed when the characters stick around and you're like following them through like a story through their life. I don't know. I feel like I'm honest to goodness a sucker for like some rom-com movies, or just like anything just that like just talks about like people overcoming some shit. Always a big fan of that. School of Rock. Oh, School of Rock is such a good movie. Freaking Jack Black in it. I love School of Rock. I watched that recently again, and it was fucking incredible. I love it. I love School of Rock. That's a good movie. Lots of Adam Sandler movies. Click. I'm a fucking sucker for Click. I love Click. I just love the sappy, cheesy movies, which I get like stereotypical movies. But again, that's why they become such a staple and such like an obvious like, oh yeah, you're just doing this. Like, yeah, I am just doing this, but it's working and it's great. It's an awesome movie, so yeah, why not just keep doing this? It's pretty cool. Oh, these just grew in front of my face. That's fascinating. So yeah, I mean, yeah, movies are cool, but I wouldn't go horror as my first choice. Speaking 5 minutes ago about Dead by Daylight, let's talk about horror video games. It's dark. I can't tell. Does this game count as a horror video game? Like, if you don't know the sharks in the water when you first go in, that might kind of scare you, but it's also kind of incredibly obvious there's going to be a shark in the water. So again, you're expecting it, so it's not really all that horror, because you already know something's going to happen. I don't know. But I guess it doesn't mean it's not horror. It just means that you're a lot more prone to not getting scared by it. Or at least I am. Because again, like, especially with video games, if I know something's about to come or something's going to jump scare me or do something crazy, I'm just expecting it. So I'm not too surprised when it happens, you know? I'm not like a big fucking, like, ah! You know, it's like, I guess like, oh, okay, yeah, oh, shit. Alright, I guess I'll just restart, because like, that monster just killed me, because it's rude and shit. Didn't I have one? Oh god, yeah, this thing sucks. This knife dull as shit. But, sorry, I get lost in my thoughts very quickly and easily. Give me more leaf. I desire leaf. I crave leafage. Oh, I have 9. Okay, so I definitely got. Oh, wait, no, that's only 7. Wait, 7? No, yeah, I got more than enough somehow. Bing, bing. Video games. Yes, horror video games. This isn't a horror video game. I don't think so, anyway. But yeah, I guess expect them. I expect the jumps, so I don't really give a shit about the jumps. Games like Five Nights at Freddy's. I've only ever played the first one, and I only ever played it a little bit. And I fucking like played it. I think I lost, and I got the thing, and my friends were watching me play it, and they were like, ah, and I was like, ah, shit, damn it. And they were like, how did you get scared by that? I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, of course it's gonna happen. I'm fucking garbage. Especially like the one you like know you're dead. Like with Five Nights at Freddy's, they sometimes jump scare you out of nowhere, but like they'll, if you like, run out of power and does that whole like little sequence, you know you're gonna die. So why do people still get like scared by those bits? I don't understand. Cause like it's gonna happen. Like you know it's about to happen. So how is this still qualify as a jump scare when you're literally watching the entire thing that's telling you, hey, you're about to get fucking jumped? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. It's confusing. It's confusing all around. Are there any other like jump scary games? I tried Alien Isolation. I feel like that could be fun, but also I only ever played it like once, and that's when I had my old shitty computer. So every time I get anywhere close to anything, I would play for like 10 minutes, and then the game would just completely close and crash. And so I didn't get to play it, but I want to play that. I feel like that'd be a fun one for stream or something. I would like write down a bunch of ideas for that, because whenever I go to like stream, I never really know what I want to play. So hopefully I'll have written some ideas down at some point. Tomorrow is gonna be more Monaco, obviously. I guess we can take a break from the topic at hand. Tomorrow's gonna be Monaco, and then I want to bring the learning segment back this week, but I don't know if I have everything I want ready for it. So it might wait another week, just so I know what I'm doing. But I might do it tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. I have time today to figure it out, so maybe I'll be fine. But yeah, back to games. So, Five Nights at Freddy's, this game, not horror. We've gone over that already. Dead by Daylight. I like Dead by Daylight, mostly because it's a game I can play with friends. When I play on my own, it's sometimes fun. But if I'm not the killer, I'm not really having that good of a time. So there's not a whole lot of horror in that game if you're not like a survivor. It's just because like I don't know, I like the surviving aspect more when I have people in my ear like just talking to me and screaming at me and be like, oh my god, you're the thing, and I'm like, oh okay. Because at least that helps me sort of immerse more. So when they pop around the corner, I'm actually, oh shit, I didn't expect that, and then I'm like, oh okay, I got best get running. And sometimes when I'm immersed with my friends, I do actually like get a little bit spooked from that game. Cause like when I don't expect them to turn the corner, but a lot of times I'm just like, oh shit, oh no, and I'm like, like I'm chasing them, and then they stab me because I'm just a dumb fucking idiot. So I don't play games correctly. Especially with my friends, I'm a fucking idiot when I play with my friends. But I do like me some Dead by Daylight. That's a fun game, and especially if I'm playing with friends. I get a lot more immersed into it, and I can actually have like a bit of a scarier time too. That's the thing that like it all sort of boils down to for me, is immersion. With horror games, when I'm expecting a jump scare, I don't try to, like, my brain I guess doesn't get as immersed as it could, because it knows that if it does, it's gonna like just get spooked or something. I don't really know, but when I'm playing with my friends, I don't really kind of remember that. So my brain is like, oh yeah, let's play this game, and then it's like, oh shit, there they are, oh my god, scary, ah. But then it's just like, you know, whatever. So I feel like multiplayer horror games kind of have a bit of an edge off of that. But then there's games that are multiplayer that really don't, like The Forest. The Forest and Sons of the Forest, I've played them both with my friends, pretty much to completion. We did a bunch of shit. I made a water slide, which was my favorite part. They really liked this. They at least tried doing the story bits, and like they'd see the monsters, the cannibal dudes, and they'd like actually get like a little bit spooked and scared and shit. Like going through the caves, they actually get a little bit terrified. I don't know how they do that, Because even when I was playing with them, none of the cannibals really seemed much of a problem. They just seemed like, oh, hey, they're going to try and kill me. I'm going to try and kill them. I didn't really... There was no creepy factor to me in my head. I was just like, oh, okay, this is happening. I gotta go take care of these guys. Okay. Like, you know, a lot of times I just kind of run around in circles and wouldn't even fight them. I just be like, oh, guys, get them, guys. These things. Shoot them, stab them, do something, please. It's just... I didn't really get frightened by that game. I didn't get... like, whenever we enter a cave and find, like, a new enemy... They'd be like, that's fucking terrifying. Get away from me. Get away from me. Ah, ah. And then they'd be like, oh god, I'm dying. Ah, save me. And it'd just be like, just generally, you know, freaked out, scared. I'd just be standing there like, oh yeah, I mean, I'm stabbing them. I'm trying. I don't know. I feel like I kind of wish I could get more immersed into horror games. Because I feel like a lot of horror games are really cool. I think it's very interesting ideas, but I just get so bored so quickly. Like, I'm worried if I try Alien Isolation that I'm gonna do some shit, and then it's gonna pop up, and I'm like, oh no, I'm dead, and then it's just gonna be, alright, I'll always do it again. Or just, I'm just worried that nothing's really gonna happen. It's just gonna be like a boring playthrough of Alien Isolation. Because like horror movies, horror games don't really do much for me, so I don't really know how that would look or work. Yeah, and no better example out there is there than Outlast. I got Outlast for free because I had like a Xbox like Gold or some shit, and I got some free game, and one of the games was Outlast. And my friends were like, "Oh, that's a really good horror game. You should play that." I'm like, "Okay, sure, I'll play that." And one day I was alone and I was playing it, and I was like, oh, cool, I gotta go into this house, I gotta go into here, I gotta look through this shit. And within like an hour or two, I got lost, and I didn't find any bad guy, and I just I think I found somebody once, like towards the end. It took me like an hour or so to actually get unlost, to actually figure out where I was supposed to go. And then I like found some guy, and then I couldn't figure out his room puzzle, so he kept just killing me, and I just couldn't actually like progress, so I just gave up. I played it once and I gave up because it just didn't hold me at all. Like, it held me stuck there pretty good, but I didn't give a shit because I was just like, all right, yeah, okay, well I've gotten all I can out of this game. It didn't even really scare me all that much. I was like, ah, sure, I gotta get past this guy. It's like more like an obstacle than an unexpected... It's more of an expected obstacle more than an unexpected obstacle. Which then it makes me scared. Because if I'm not expecting something, then obviously it's going to spook me a lot more. But if I'm going into it being like, oh hey, yeah, that's scary, I should be afraid of that, then I'm not going to be afraid of that. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I mean... I get more scared sometimes by non-horror games, like especially with multiplayer stuff. Like if I'm playing like Apex, like Legends, or like any like shooter game, where like if you die you're dead, and you gotta like, or even not those, just like any game, like I guess mostly shooter games though. If because that's usually where the element of surprise comes from. Because if I don't have an ability to see the enemy, I don't expect them to turn the corner and I'll be like, oh shit, I'm dead. And this is just like, you know, like if I'm playing Apex and like a bunch of people are landing by me and I don't know where anything is, I get like my fist, everyone's shooting at me. I'm like, God, fuck! I just start swinging punches. My brain, for whatever reason, gets more freaked out and scared over just like unexpected, random other people. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's just like, you know, it just doesn't really... It's more scared of the unexpected than the actual horror aspect itself. Like, if there was a horror movie that was like 80 minutes just regular movie, and then the last like 5 minutes of the movie was literally just some guy going around and stabbing everybody in the face, I feel like that would be a good horror movie, especially if it wasn't marketed as a horror movie, because then I wouldn't expect it. I'd be like, oh shit, what the fuck's going on? What the hell? All these characters I like are dying. This is so... Well, no, stop. And I'd be maybe at least a little bit scared. But honestly, I don't really know. Because again, if I don't expect it, maybe I'll actually get a little bit of a spook out of it. Do people like actually get scared by horror games and horror movies, or are they just like is there actually like an adrenaline rush when they watch movies? Because like whenever I watch a horror movie, I'm just like, oh, okay, this is happening, and I just kind of watch it, and I don't really feel much watching it except, oh, the character I like is dead. All right, well, it's whatever. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, when they were getting like all like chased around in their house and stuff, and like go on the road and they're chasing them. Like the music's tense and stuff. And my mom's like, ah! My mom's like screaming, and she's seen this movie before, but she's like screaming, and I'm just there like, yeah, it's happening, I guess. Like I feel like I'm overselling how chill I was, but I was just watching a movie. I was just watching. Like if someone put on Guardians of the Galaxy, I'd probably have the exact same just like neutral stance as while I'm watching a movie. So I feel like if I'm not doing something, it's a lot harder to be immersed into something. But at the same time, I absolutely love like shows like Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead. At least the older seasons of The Walking Dead. I got up to season 4 now, so I'm still in the area where I like the show. I think Negan comes in around the end of 6 or the beginning of 7 or something, and that's when I sort of started veering off the show. But that's also when I started watching on with my family, and then they started veering off the show, so I started veering off of it. The Walking Dead, I can't. Like, I feel like that could be, in some people's eyes, a horror show, but it just isn't. It really just isn't. It's just like it's a drama with like occasional like zombie jump scares and stuff, but it's not like it's anything crazy. Like it sucks when like one of your favorite characters gets zombie jump scared and they die, but like Dale, I love Dale, but he's dead, and I was like, oh man, I was more just sad about it than anything else. I don't know, just spooky stuff never really hit me hard, and it never does. But I genuinely don't understand how people can like actually rewatch a horror movie and still get scared by the same thing. Like I understand being creeped out by the same thing, like the spider movie, like Arachnophobia. I'm not a big fan of spiders, not just because of that movie, but just because in general I think bugs. Something in my brain switched where I used to like bugs, and now I think many bugs are creepy and weird, and I only like the cool bugs like praying mantises, and like fucking stag beetles and stuff. But that movie was just creepy, and if I were to go watch it again and see all those spiders all over the place, I'd be creeped out, yeah, but I wouldn't really be scared. It's like with the gore stuff, you know, I'm like, I fucking hate gore. I look away. It's not because I'm scared of it, it's because it's grossing me out. And like when I watch Saw, it grosses me out, even though I've already seen it. But that's just because it's a gross thing. But I guess, and sad movies can still make people cry after they watch them again. But I feel like a lot of things like that are very, like, you watch them once and you experience it, and then every other time after that, it's like a nostalgia trip. But then you know what happens. Then how is it still sad or upsetting or just scary? I don't get it. Like, obviously, like, with some, like, shows and movies, I do still, like, cry at sad parts. So why don't I still... Well, I guess I never got scared at the scary parts, so I wouldn't get scared again. But it's, like, especially with, like, scary stuff, man. I feel like being scared is a very, like, basic, natural reaction that happens for very specific reasons, and the fact that you can just relive the same thing and still get scared, it confuses me. Like, you know what's gonna happen, so why are you still getting scared? Like, you can know what's gonna happen and still get sad, because it's like, oh, that guy's gonna die soon, I really like that character, oh man, I don't want him to die again, and his death was so sad. But if his death was scary, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it just kinda happened. Like, I feel like scary loses a lot of meaning after the first watch. And if you didn't get scared after the first watch, then it's probably not going to scare you if you watch it again, you know? Unless you have a friend who like goes behind you and like pokes at your shoulders, like, you know, just tries to scare you. All the scary bits are happening. Then you might have a case. But other than that, you don't. You don't got no case. You ain't got no rhythm either, girl. I don't know. Or I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this if this actually ever, like, if people watch this one to like full. I feel like I'm gonna get a bit of flack. 'Cause I feel like people generally like horror movies and horror games a lot because of the atmosphere and everything. But like, especially slow horror games and slow horror movies, they bore the shit out of me. If there's not like a really good story, because a lot of horror games are just wander around this place and get jump scared at some point. Like, okay, I guess, but it's just so boring. Like, I think the only video game that I've watched people play that was a horror game was like Five Nights at Freddy's with like a little bit of like Markiplier, but like mostly like just Matt Pat's videos on it. Because I was interested in the series, like the lore, but it was such a slow fucking game, and the lore had to be so pieced together, I didn't fucking care to do it, so I was just watching him do it. But, and like with horror movies, Saw, the only ones I really like, because I like the story that's behind it. But it's not scary. I don't like it because it's scary. Like, one of my friends and coworkers is a really big horror buff. I don't get it. It's not, it's just, especially like, say, like, rewatch the Scream movies a bunch. I think the Scream movie is supposed to be like more like a comedy horror, so I can get that. Something that's funny can still be funny, but again, sort of the same thing with funny and scary. You know, like, those things, like, I feel like funny, sad, and scary are like the holy trinity of things that should only happen once, if at all, but it can still be invoked somehow numerous times, depending on who the person is watching. Like, if something's funny, and you watch it again, and it was funny just because it was a funny joke, yeah, you'll laugh again, probably. But once you hear it enough, something becomes not funny, something becomes not sad, something becomes not scary. But yet some people still keep getting scared or angry or just they still chuckle. You know, it's weird. I don't get it. But horror is that one thing that just doesn't really do it for me. Yeah, so I mean, I kind of went over everything that I wrote down. I feel like I need to go over. If I have any horror recommendations, I would say for games, Dead by Daylight's good if you have friends, and for movies, the Saw movies, because those are the only horror movies I really remember I even really watched, except for like Child's Play 2. Some of the Chucky movies are good, but it's just I just like watching the movie. Like, I don't get scared. I mean, sometimes a movie is just like, oh hey, that's a good movie, and there's a lot of just jump scares in there in between. Like, cool, I guess, but I don't know. It's strange. My taste is very weird when it comes to movies and games and stuff. But we're gonna leave it there. So, if you think that horror is meh, let me know, and I'd be happy to agree with you. I'll give you a nice little thumbs up. Maybe give you a little. Not, I was gonna do like a smooch, but it's a heart, a little heart comment, I guess. I don't know, but let me know what you think. If you think horror is cool, you know what? To each their own. Because again, I don't really hate horror. I just think it's meh. Like, if I had, what's a genre that I hate? I don't know. With movies and games and stuff, grindy games. I'm not a big fan of really like super grindy games, especially when it's a multiplayer game that my friend wanted me to play that I didn't really want to play, but then I got immersed into it and I actually really kind of liked the game. But then he yells at me all the time when we play it because I'm not as good as he is, and he gets really mad when I suck. That sucks. That's a pretty bad game. Definitely not talking about anything in particular, Monster Hunter. But it's a good game. I still like Monster Hunter. I just don't care to put in the effort because friends such a dickhead about it. I just, yeah, fuck it. I don't want to play this anymore. Regardless, horror. Is that a horror game? I guess you can. I get kind of spooked when I play Monster Hunter, just kind of because, again, I'm like getting immersed with my friends, and something happens I don't expect. I'm like, oh shit, that was spooky. So yeah, as long as something can maintain the surprise factor in any way, shape, or form, it at least has some scare merit to me. And I guess we'll leave it at that. So thank you all for tuning in to Stranded Deep in Conversation. And you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.